You ever have those days when you just don't feel your best mentally and emotionally? Well, how do you get out of that?
On today's show, we're going to be sharing how to get into a better mental state and how to raise your vibration fast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Manifestation Mindset, where we talk to you about the mindset of manifesting, overcoming emotional challenges, and breaking through the limitations that we put on our minds so we can achieve the life that we truly want. We are your hosts. I'm Dr. Aaron Garcia.
And I'm Veronica Mendez, and we go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific. And so if you enjoy the show, give us a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to the channel. There's that thumbs up. And remember to click the bell icon so you'll be notified of when we go live.
And we love having you guys here. We are live here on YouTube. If you guys are here and we want to say hi, we'll let them know if you're new, put that into the comments here. If you guys have questions, you want to add something, put those into the comments. We'd love to have an interaction with you. Even if you're watching the replay, if you have questions or you want to say something, make sure you put your comments here in the feed below. We'd love to hear from you guys. So today, we're talking about raising your vibration. And when we talk about like vibration, it's a different lingo for some people. We use it here a lot, but maybe not a lot of people understand this concept of what vibration is. And we're going to talk about that more. And so, what do you feel, and from your perspective, and I'll share my thoughts of vibration. Someone hasn't heard this today. How can we explain vibration to them?
Well, vibration is everything vibrates. So anything from even the table that you see that appears to be solid, it has a vibration. When we go somewhere and we see something, every single thing that's here vibrates at a certain frequency. So when we have emotions that are great emotions, happy, joyous, that's more along the high vibration. And when we're feeling down and, sad or even angry, that's more on the lower vibration. So there's like a scale of low and high vibration. But basically, it's when you feel good, you're in a high vibration. When you don't feel good, you're in a low vibration.
The song that keeps playing in my head is Marky
Good
Mark and
vibrations.
Good Vibration by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. It's like good vibrations, and that's what we're talking about when you think, oh, that person just got a really good vibe, or I'm in a good vibe today. You're feeling good, right? And as you mentioned, that vibration is, at a cellular level, everything's vibrating. The table, this signal that we are sending out to you today, so you can watch us live or on the replay, that is a frequency that is vibrating the electrical signals through the air, through the ether, through wires in your internet. And you're able to receive this broadcast, and just like you can receive anything all over. And so everything has frequency to it. And so we understand that our thoughts have frequencies and vibration. Our feelings have vibrations to them. And we radiate that out as depending on what we're going through each and every single day and what we're thinking about. And by law of attraction, what we vibrate at is what we attract to us more of. And so we really want to pay attention to this concept of vibration. And the better the vibration that we're in, it's the better things seem to happen to us, and we just feel better. So it's just a good rule of thumb. Let's stay at high vibrations as often as we can. But there are those days when we don't feel so good, when we can say our vibrations have lowered down. Maybe you got some bad news. Maybe you lost somebody, or maybe there's some issues that happen in your work. There's relationship challenges. We go through challenges, often in our life, and that's where we learn to grow. We're not without challenges. And the concept is, if we want to keep moving forward, is how can we get our vibrations higher faster rather than staying in those low vibrations of anger, depression, fear, worry, and get right back to where we need to be so we can continue moving forward.
Yeah, so vibration, it'll be constantly fluctuating depending on what's going on up here. That's why it's so important to be aware of, how are you thinking, how are you feeling, especially because your thoughts are gonna dictate pretty much how you feel. If you're thinking negative thoughts most of the time, you're not gonna be in a really good mood most of the time. So it's like really pay attention to, are my thoughts making me feel good, or are they making me feel not so good? So that's kind of a way you can gauge it of where you're at. And especially when it comes to manifesting, what are you trying to manifest? And is it pay attention to your thoughts when you think about what it is you're trying to manifest, because when you think about it and then you start getting those thoughts like, I don't know if I could do it, or oh, it's going to take too long, then you're lowering your vibration and you're not aligning with what you want. So it's like you say you want this, but because of all the negative thoughts or maybe even the programming that you've had, that's taking you, it's like putting a bigger gap between you and what you want. So it's very important to really have that awareness of what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And if it's more on the negative side, we have to change that.
So those of you who are watching live, or even if you're watching the replay, just take a moment right now and pay attention, because when we're talking about how do we shift our vibration, how can we get out of these different mental emotional states and start to feel better. And there's a lot of different ways, but the biggest thing is to be aware. Is always be aware of your state you are in. And a lot of times people run on default. They just react and go and let the day go, and they let their emotions take over, or their thoughts just kind of run rampant. And they never really pay attention to themselves. They don't pay attention to their own body. But we're going to do something a little different here, where we just want you to tune in for just a second. Okay, you're listening to this message. It doesn't matter where you are in the world right now. Just pay attention and just like tune into yourself and just ask yourself, how do I feel right now? And you might say, well, I feel really, really good right now. I feel really good. And you could say, I feel really good as well, or I feel okay, or I don't feel so great today. So you're going to have those days that we just don't feel good. I've had them. Veronica gets them, and But we have to learn to pay attention when we don't feel so good, but also notice when we do feel good. So take a moment and just pay attention. Like, how do you feel? And just notice what you're noticing. That's the biggest thing. Is that awareness is a key thing. When you want to change anything, you have to be aware of where you are. And so let's pay attention. And you can do this at any moment. Just remind yourself, how am I feeling right now? And then once you identify what that is, you can ask, what's making me feel this way? And I'm going to, for this portion, I'm just going to mention if you're not feeling so good. So maybe you're feeling upset right now, or you're sad, or you feeling a little down today. You can ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And you start asking these questions, some answers will come up because it is good to identify what's creating this.
Yeah. So once you identify what it is it, is it really worth, to keep thinking about it or dwelling on it if it's not making you feel good? So you want to stay with the thoughts that make you feel good because, as we mentioned earlier, when it comes to manifesting, the more you can stay in that high vibration, the feel good emotions, the closer you get to where you want to be, and especially when you think about it, and it's just visualize it and feel how good it feels to be there already, because everything before it manifests starts in thought form, and then when you, depending on how you're feeling, that will amplify and give it energy. So if the thoughts that come, after your, or the emotions that come after your thoughts about whatever you want to manifest, if they don't feel so good, you're putting don't feel good energy into what you want to create. It's like yucky energy that on something that you want to manifest. So it kind of doesn't go together. It doesn't really match.
Hmm.
So it's making like that distance between you attaining it. It's putting like a bigger gap, and that's why it's important to feel good. And something that we can do to help us feel good is like do something that makes you happy. Do something that, gives you life, and makes you come alive.
Yeah. And so we talk about like, if thoughts create our feelings and our vibrations, is like, where do the thoughts come from? We are connected to so much information that's around us. Every thought that has ever been thought is around us. It's an invisible frequency that we can't see, but we can pick up on that. You ever sat there and wondered, like, oh, I got, I just a song just popped up into my head. I don't know why, but it's just there. Or I started thinking about somebody, or I got an idea through a new business venture or an invention, whatever that is. Like, where do those thoughts come from? They come from this ether, but a lot of times too, it's what you pay your attention to. What are you focusing on throughout the day? And that's going to start to dictate what your thoughts are going to be. So that's where that awareness factor really comes in, is paying attention to what are you thinking about. If you're not feeling so good, then pay attention to, well, what have my thoughts been? What's been going on through my mind over this last hour, this past day, this past week? And you'll notice that there's going to be a certain pattern that happens. You might be thinking about what's going on in the world. If you're paying and focusing on what's going on in the news, you're going to see a lot of tragedy. You're going to see a lot of hate. You're going to see a lot of things that aren't going to make a lot of people feel good. And that's just one example. And by focusing on that, it's going to make you think, or you're going to have some thoughts, and it's going to make you feel a certain way. And so we want to tune out on the things that are gonna make us, they're gonna decrease or lower our vibration. And so pay attention to the things that make you feel good and the things that make you feel bad. And we're gonna limit the amount of things that make us feel bad constantly. So we always use the news as an example, but if the news is not making you feel so good, then maybe try staying away from it for a while and see how you do. Not saying you can't ever watch the news, it's okay to be informed, but when you get caught up emotionally into it, and you're starting to think about all these things, and you're starting to worry about the economy, or you're worrying about what's going on with the virus and all these things, then you're decreasing your vibration, and you're the only one that has control over your thoughts and what you focus on.
So something that I like to do when, especially like when I'm working or I have, time to listen to something, especially when I'm working on my cakes, I like to put on some positive, like a positive audio or something that's more on along the lines of positive energy, positive mindset, personal development, that type of thing. So I'll put my headset on and I'll listen to audios on YouTube. And I'll put something that's gonna, feed my mind and uplift me. And so I'll sit there and I'll be working and just listen to all kinds of stuff, like from Abraham Hicks. Um, I like to listen to all kinds of different things, and
Hmm.
I'm interested in like the universe and stuff like that. So I'll put on audios like that, and Greg Braden,
The long
Joe
list.
Dispenza, just so many different ones, and so that's how instead of listening to the news, I'll put that on. So what's something that you like to do when you're doing stuff or just to raise your vibration?
Um, Sometimes I'll listen to videos, but not as much anymore. But sometimes when I have been feeling down, I'll pick up a good book that I can learn a few things. Like, there was one time a few years ago when I was just going through a phase and I wasn't feeling so good throughout the week and feeling really down. And Veronica had put a book in front of me that we had just gotten that I never got a chance to read. It was just collecting dust on the shelf, and I picked it up and I started reading it. And by the knowledge that was in that book started to help me to understand a few things, and it really helped me to get out of that state and realizing that, well, I'm in control of my thoughts, I'm in
Mhm.
control of all of this, and there's just things that are getting in my way that I'm not paying attention to. And the book that I'm talking about was called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and it's a really good book. But whatever lights up your soul, sometimes I like to listen to inspirational music. You think about even the music you listen to. There's music that might make you feel very good. It's got a really good beat to it, but we also want to pay attention to the message that's behind the words. And so I tend to gravitate to messages that are very empowering, inspiring, to help me to rise up or other people to rise up, rather than a song that could be really degrading, or it's really
Mhm.
angry and sad and all those things. So it's like you get to choose what you're gonna focus on, and you just notice how it makes you feel. So always notice that first. And so once you start to, you can even watch something funny, right? Something that's
Mhm.
gonna like lighten up your spirits. But it's like once you're in a good mood, then you got some room to wiggle and work now to really start working on your thoughts. But sometimes you just need something now. What can you do today, right now, that will help uplift your mood? And once you're feeling a little bit better, then we can start to pay attention to our thoughts and work on through a few things.
And that music thing, that could be pretty challenging because sometimes it can have a great beat, but then the words behind it are horrible. So it's like really pay attention to what they're saying because everything that's being said is going straight to your subconscious mind. And it's like you're programming your mind to whatever words are behind that music because what happens is the beat is really upbeat and it sounds good and it makes you feel good, but then the message behind it is not so good. So then
Yeah.
that's what gets programmed into your mind.
Yeah,
So
try
be
this. It's
aware of
like
that.
go and just print out the lyrics to a song and don't listen to the beat behind it. And just read the lyrics and just notice what you notice with that. And sometimes
Like,
it's
oh
like
my
that
gosh.
glass shatters. You're like, oh my god, this is what I've been singing or I've been tuning in my mind for all these years, and like, this is really not the best message for a lot of people.
Hmm.
And it's things we just started to pay attention to. But there's music that we like to listen to that the words are very inspiring. So we go along with a couple different things. But but that's the way we like to do it. So it's a recommendation. Pay attention to that. But the concept here is when we're raising our vibration, is we want to notice how do we feel and then what do we do to get out of that. So if you're in it right now, again, we want to do something that can get us out fast. Watch something funny. Maybe talk to somebody that can help lift up your mood. And one of the best things too that we found is if you're not feeling so very good right now or today or anytime you get to those moments, is allow yourself to feel that.
Hmm.
And this is the thing that we teach our clients, is that it's okay for us to feel. It's okay for us to feel bad once in a while. And just pay attention to that. That is part of who we are as human beings. That's the spirit side of us that feels things. And it lets you know when something might be off in your life that's going against what you want, what your values are. and you just want to pay attention to that. And then if you notice that I'm just going to I feel sad. Okay, feel
Mhm.
sad.
But how long do you stay in that feeling is what's important as well, because if you're feeling sad like Aaron mentioned, and yeah, feel it. But if you're feeling sad for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and it starts to drag on, then there's something that's that's not right. So you might want to start to change that, because it could go into a downward spiral from there. So
Yeah.
it's just pay attention. Like, do you really want to feel sad for that long? Like for us, if it's like more than like a day or two, it's like for me, I don't
That's
want
a
to
like
feel that
long
way.
time.
So it's like after even like a few hours, it's like, okay, let's work on this, because I don't like feeling that way.
Yeah. In the past, that used to go on for
Oh yeah.
months, years. And
Mhm.
what that started to do to, and this would be even before we met and times we met as we started to learn all this and understand it, is what it was doing to me physically when I would hold on to things. And, I would feel, but I wouldn't allow myself to process or feel. You try to
You
stuff
stuff
it
it.
down and act like everything's okay. But your body is the emotional filter. In fact, to understand what kind of vibration you're in, you just pay attention to how you feel, because what you feel mentally, emotionally, is your awareness of the vibration that you're in. And so when you talk about what's my vibration, well, how do you feel? Do you feel good? If you feel good, you're in a good vibration. If you're feeling bad, negative, I'm not in a good vibration today. And
Mhm.
it's just another terminology, right? So I don't feel so good today. I feel really great today. I'm in a good vibration. I'm in a bad vibration. Either way, the concept is whatever you feel, and we're talking mainly if you're in a lower vibration, not feeling so good, is what can I do to get up to that higher vibration faster? Because the sooner we can get there, the less problematic issues may come about. You never notice those days where if you're not feeling so good and one something happens and then something goes wrong and then you're starting to get frustrated or bothered by it, and then it's like the next thing goes wrong and another thing goes wrong. It's like, why does this keep happening to me? And it's like, what's going on here? Because your whole energy just shifted and you start to attract more of those issues.
So another thing that you can do to raise your vibration is is you can do something nice for someone. Do something nice for someone else, help someone out, lend a helping hand to someone, and that can help lift your vibration. So it's like if you feel like you know your life is crumbling down, maybe go help serve food at a soup kitchen or something like that, or help some people out. So that after you see that, maybe it's like you start to think, well, my life isn't as bad as I thought. And another thing would be to besides like listening to music and then helping people out is maybe do something nice for yourself, and go and just maybe take time to enjoy nature, get out, enjoy the sunshine, and when you ground yourself, that really helps to connect with the earth and just get into that energy.
Which goes into things that work for us, and we know that has helped other people. Is try practicing meditation.
Mhm.
Meditation helps to reconnect you to your source. It helps to. It's like you've been disconnected for so long, your battery's running low. And when you learn how to plug into the source that powers your energy, is like it refills you back up. And it's a practice because you're learning to train and condition your mind. You're learning to concentrate. You're learning how to not pay attention to all the things that are going wrong that are bothering you that make you feel upset. Is you now start to focus on something that helps to enliven your soul. And when you start to practice those meditations, and you have to have the experience of it, is you just start to feel more calm, more centered, more relaxed. And that's where we're always trying to get. We're trying to get recentered again. Sometimes we just get distracted and we go off on a tangent and our minds are all over the place. And we just have to bring ourselves back. Okay, here's where I am in this moment. Let's pay attention. And then in those times, as you get to meditate, you're doing all these things, is okay, I'm starting to feel a little better today. How can I increase it even more? And one of the things that you can do is focus on something that you really want to achieve in your life. It's like when you have a goal, when you have a purpose, and you can focus more on the purpose than on what you are lacking or what's going wrong. It again, your attention, your thoughts are gonna be dictated what you focus on. So when you're focusing on something that you want, You mentioned earlier when you see it, you can feel it, you feel really good. You pay attention because then it's going to make you feel good. Now you're raising your vibration a little higher. So what's something that you would love to create in your life, either within your health, whether it's in your job or your career, something you want to change in your relationships, or it's just or just your time and your freedom. What would that look like, and what would you love? And that's the biggest question. Is just put aside all like resources and what you can and cannot do. Is like no, we're just visualizing. We're imagining right now. What would you love in your life? And you get a chance to focus and write that down.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the point of focus. Sometimes when people, most people want money, and it's like, okay, that's what I want is money, but then they're looking at their bank account as to how much money is in there, and they're like, oh well, I don't see it, and then they go back the next day, oh, I don't see the money, like it's not there. So their point of focus is not on money, it's on the lack of the money, because now it's not making them feel good by looking at the bank account and seeing that there's maybe a negative $200 or whatever it is. So it's really, where is your focus? So maybe instead of like the money aspect part of it, like Aaron mentioned, what would you love to do? Because money's just the after effect
Mhm.
of, you can earn money in several different ways. But if you're doing something that you truly love, then that gives you more life. That brings you into a higher vibration, and it's like, oh, if you could do something that, whether you got paid for or not, what would you be doing? What would you love to do? And a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, I like surfing all day. Okay, well, what could you do that involves surfing that maybe you can earn an income doing that? You can take people and teach them how to surf, things like that. It's like there's so many possibilities out there of things that you can do, and with what you love. And you might not think about it at the time because you might have this box of like, well, this is the only thing I can do. But there's so many different things out there that people are doing nowadays to bring in some income, but they're also doing something that they love.
Yeah. And even if it's not something you want to do as a living in your still in your career, what you're doing is could you make more time to go surfing? If that what livens you,
Hmm.
do you plan time to make sure that you do something like that? Some people might be gardening. It could be going for a hike or a walk, spending time with your kids. Whatever it is that again enlivens you, what lights your soul up. You want to spend more time doing that and put that into your schedule. A lot of people they get so busy with work and the things they got to do in the everyday life that they don't take enough time for themselves and to again plug back in and reignite their soul again. And that's what you want to do is like it's like taking the vacation. Why wait
Hmm.
till your vacation time, the 2 weeks that you get throughout the year? It's like you can plan little mini vacations, each week, and we do something that get outdoors. The things that we've been planning is like we getting outdoors more, and it's just taking a walk or a bike ride. We're in the process of just want to go for bike riding, so we're going to manifest bikes that our family can do. But again, we're focusing on something, and then when you start to feel good, and you have a focus and a vision that you want to create, then it helps to push you more forward to achieving that. There's a lot of other steps that are involved with that, but it all starts in your thought first, and make sure that you feel good about that. You can iterate it, you edit it, and reiterate what it is that you really want, and that's okay. It's okay to want, and it's like when you start to feel good, you're thinking about what you want to create, then that's going to dictate your behavior. It's going to dictate the action steps that you're going to take, and it's our actions that really start to create results in our life. So they all go together, and that's what we call our team process. Is our thoughts create our feelings dictate our behaviors and our attitudes and our actions, which now will help us to manifest what we want in our life.
Yeah, so when you're doing your visualization, the best time to do it is when you first wake up, because you're waking up, and don't even get out of bed yet. Just stay in your bed and just visualize for a couple minutes, and visualize what you truly desire, and get into that feeling of how it feels to be there. Like, see yourself already there, see yourself doing what you love, and then you're going to start your day in a good vibration. So then, even before you go to bed at night, same thing, get into bed and close your eyes and visualize again, and feel that, how good that feels to be where you want to be, to be, or have whatever it is that you desire. And you could even do it several times throughout the day. And maybe if you desire like a house with a really nice kitchen and you're cooking dinner, maybe visualize yourself like in your house that you want. And you're cooking and just visualize how it looks around you and get
Mm.
into that feeling of
Yeah. And the key part to this is rinse and repeat. Keep repeating
mm-hmm.
that process
Daily.
over and over again until you can see it so clearly in your mind. Daily, hourly, you get set timers on your
Mm-hmm.
alarm to make sure, hey, take at least 5 minutes to start visualizing what you want. Because again, you're wanting to train yourself and condition to to focus on the things that you want to create rather than the things that you don't have or the things that are going wrong. Because you've already been doing this. You've been conditioning yourself for a very long time since you came into this world to focus on something. A lot of people are really getting trained to focus on everything that's going wrong, everything that they don't have. And how much time are they devoting to focusing on what is it that they want?
And it's all conditioning because most of the time our parents, something's wrong and they're like focusing on all the wrong stuff and it's like I cleaned my room, but then they go and like, oh, what about this and what about that? And it's like, well, I did all this work organizing this, but you're focused on all the stuff I didn't do.
Hmm.
So it's a learned habit that most of us probably grew up with. So it's if you have kids, start changing the programming there and have them focus on what they love, all the positive things that they have, all the positive things that you have in your life, and just really change your point of focus, and you'll start to feel a whole lot
Well, we hope you guys
better.
enjoyed today's episode of Manifestation Mindset. How about raising your vibration? Hopefully, you understand a little bit more. You got some insight. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments of how this is helping you. If you enjoyed this video, yeah, you guys can make sure you subscribe to our channel if you like to. Let me pop up my little video here. There we go.
And if
Yeah,
you like the video, you
give it,
can give us a thumbs up.
give us a thumbs up and make sure you click on that little bell icon to be notified every time we have a new video posted. We go live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and we have new videos posted on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time as well. So keep joining us here on the show. We hope this is helpful. Give us your insights and thoughts into the comment section as well. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions, let us know and let's clarify that for you if there's anything that you need help with. And we appreciate you guys.
All right, we thank you for joining us and have a great day.
All right, guys. You have a great day. Bye. See you next time.